Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Anything Blows. My name is Andrew Deacon, and today I'm proud to be joined by the one, the only Eilish, Tierney, and Eilish. Since we last caught up, I asked you the question. After you went 2-0, where'd you go from here? You said 3-0, evidently, obviously, that's where you're going to go. But would you have expected that Ipswich fight nights here and the homecoming would come as soon as possible?
No, it's crazy. It's really nice to have like the support to be fighting where I started, and it's just this really weird full circle moment that doesn't really seem real yet, but it's going to be a hell of a fight night.
And how have you been since I last saw you from your last outing?
Yeah, all good. Just ticking over, just working, and just trying to progress and become a better version of me.
And talk about that last one because now we're not in the moment, but obviously you did have a few battle wounds, your hand as well. Talk about that because, like you said, you finally felt like you'd been in a fight.
Yeah, it was one of those that I went in a little too relaxed. My hands were a little down, got caught with stupid shots that I should have been caught with. But the girl was tough, Kerry Orton's a long girl. She came to win. Um, but yeah, it was a great fight. I quickly learned to keep my hands up and just start moving and just do what I do best.
And what have you done from the last fight to now? Obviously, it's a cliche question and I love asking it, but has this been the best preparation you've had ever in your pro career in terms of camp? And what have you done differently to the last few to emulate not only your style, but nutritionist, get the weight down properly, and just feel like even better to go? And obviously, homecoming for a reason.
Yeah, I've definitely put the graft in a lot more for this camp. Like I take it seriously and professionally always, but the fact I'm fighting in front of the people that I started when I was 68 kg and now I'm going to be fighting at 58. Like it's the people that saw me fight at Trinity last. I'm just going to look like a different person. And I've just put the graft in, put the hours in, and just you're going to see a better Eilish on the night.
And when was the last time you fought back in your hometown?
March 2023. So last year was my last white collar bout, which, I've done amateurs and I've progressed to the pro since then. But again, I was 63 kg, I think, at my last white collar bout. And that was nothing compared to who I am now. Like the levels are just forever evolving.
And I've got to make the joke, England didn't bring it home in the summer, but you're coming home. Although it do look kind of funny. So you're bringing it home. How does it feel? Because we spoke about this before, and I say to everyone that I'm going to take it off because just look like Willy Wonka or someone in the chocolate factory. But I've said it before, talk about that there because I say it to everyone who's a football fan. I say it to everyone who's born and raised in their area. They always want to sell out their football club's ground. They always want to be there, and we'll get that done one day. And we'll get Ed Sheeran walking out, and maybe Billie Eilish. We could get a feature collab and personal made song. We'll get that done for you for sure. But how does it feel that one day we'll get there, but to finally fight as a professional in your hometown?
It was crazy because I didn't know the last time I fought in Trinity, I'd be coming back as a professional. Like everything just happened so quickly with my progression in the amateurs to turning over to professional level. Like the levels, like I say, just keep going up and up and up. And to bring that kind of level and bring professional boxing back to Ipswich, Fabio carries that flag for us, but we're selling out without him. And he's got a big week before us. Like he's doing his thing in Saudi, and then it's all on us the week after. So Ipswich is just making some crazy moves at the moment.
Um, let's talk about that then before we go on to Fabio. Sky Nicholson versus Raven Chapman, the first ever female world title bout in Saudi Arabia. How proud are you of that? And before I ask for a prediction, when can we get you selling out Saudi?
Hopefully one day we'll be having this conversation and I'll doing something in Saudi, like I don't know either women personally. I've followed both of their careers, especially Sky being in the same weight class as me. What she's doing, and same with Raven. They're opening the doors for everyone. Like me, all the other girls coming up, the girls are already there. Like it's a big green flag to say this is okay and we're allowed to do it. We belong there as well.
And you talk about that there because I say it to Tyson Gallagher. Obviously, Tyson said for when I interviewed her after she won her British title, she said, "Little Tyson from Luton, in 100 years' time, will be the first to have a British title." So Not only that, but you're paving a way, and I've said it, and I always say it, and you know how I love my women in sport, but it's no longer women's boxing; it's boxing, period. And how does it feel that just it's taken a worldwide stage, and not only Turkey, but also Saudi Arabia, the Zone, the world, every platform working together. It's just beneficial for the sport.
It's taken a long time to get here, but the girls are going to put on a hell of a show, and I think it was going to show the world that we belong. We're not just female fighters; we're boxers, and we're here to do a job, and we're good at what we do. So we should be on the same stage as the boys.
And I'm just gonna say it because I always just have to say it because obviously I have two sisters. But growing up, and I used to go to Chigwell, I used to go Rush Green, you barely get 500, sometimes a few thousand if you're lucky to watch the West Ham women's. Now, when you see the Euros final a few years ago, the Lionesses, and obviously the joke is that they're better than the men's team, but it's no comparison. They done it for themselves. They won their Euros, and like I said, we claim it because we have won the Euros. Everyone talks about we haven't won the Euros, but the women's done it and England's done it, period. So, and then now you go see Wembley sold out. You see almost every Arsenal game at the Emirates sold out, which is unreal. And you see little girls. And what was her name? Alessia Russo said when she grew up, she never expected to see a young boy with a girl's name on their back of their shirt. So it just shows. So talk about that there. Before we go back onto Saudi, how impressive does it feel that not only back in your hometown, but I saw this with Sonny Hardy the other week, and from Stratford to the Indigo, everyone was wearing his merch, and to show that your loyal supporters and new fans are going to be wearing your merch, not only coming to the arena, but they wear it, period, like I do with Lily Winches as well.
It's just one of those surreal moments where, like, I've obviously at the gym, a few people walk past me, and I'm like, "That's my name written on their t-shirt." Like, it's just crazy that someone has like let me do this, but it's exactly where I'm supposed to be. And my name belongs on t-shirts. My name belongs on posters and billboards and headline in the O2 one day. Like, my name belongs just as much as everyone else's. So I'm just going to keep reclaiming what I'm after and just keep working towards that goal.
And we missed you at the Indigo last time out, and we missed having a female belt. Well, like I said, no longer needs to call it a female belt, but we missed having a women's fight, and we missed having a girl on the card. I know it's cliche because you can't say about because you're going to say boxing, you don't need to say men's, but you know what I mean. We didn't get to have someone on that card raising the flag for you lot. But talk about that there. Indigo, hopefully when they come back, but we'll go step by step here. So, because I literally go 100 miles per hour, but let's go back. So, also, so did you have a prediction for Sky or Raven? You just want the best for both women?
I'm wishing both women the best, but my money's on Sky Nicholson.
Mm.
She's different with it. Like, Raven will give her a tough fight. Don't get me wrong. Raven is there to win. It is a 50-50 fight, and that's what we love to see. But Sky Nicholson.
And have you ever sparred either of the two or not?
No, I would love to. Wouldn't say no to either of the opportunities, but one day, hopefully, our paths will cross.
Oh, hopefully. And when you sell Ipswich's ground out or you go back out in Saudi. So then Fabio Wardley, like you said, it's kind of like the UFC with Conor McGregor. Obviously, for those who knew the UFC beforehand, Conor wasn't there for a long time. And everyone said, when Conor went, oh, is the UFC going to be the same? You had stars like Israel Adesanya, you had John Jones, you had everyone saying it out. But it's more the fact that Ipswich, fair enough, in this country, and for those worldwide that don't understand it, it's probably the fighting pride of Fabio Wardley, and Fabio Wardley is, but so are you as well. How does it feel that you no longer need, and it's not to say a man, but you no longer need that big presence because you've got the new wave of fighters? It's just like saying the Scousers, you had your Darren Tills, and obviously in boxing you got the Smith brothers and so many others, but the new waves like the Paddies and Wallies like yourself, and for the new wave of Ipswich fighters, because you make your own name and you've made your own name.
Definitely. Like, I appreciate everything Fab has done for myself in terms of opening the door to allow us white collar boxers to believe we can achieve what we want. But to sell out a place in Ipswich full of Ipswich boxers, like, there's some great talent coming through, and on 19th of October it's going to showcase that in somewhere that just means somewhere, like, something so much to me. So hopefully Fab will be there, and he's like come off cloud nine a little bit, and he can reflect on how far he's come in terms of opening the door for all of us. But it's one of those things that one day we're going to be down Portman Road and it's just going to be 5, 6, 7 Ipswich boxers just selling that out, and it's just an amazing. It's amazing to see everyone come through and have so much talent come out of Ipswich.
Obviously, it's not you yet. Are you going to go out to Saudi or no?
No, I would love to, absolutely love to, but not fight week.
And talk about that, of course. Yes, it is fight weekend. Talk about that then, because it will be you one day, and you'll sell out the MSG, you'll sell out stadiums in America and arenas. But how does it feel to say? And obviously, I don't know, but everyone in the UK knows a small town, and obviously, when you're born and raised in London or Essex is a different factor. But when you're in London, I think it's a bit too common. But when you come from the smaller towns, it's a bit different. And like I said, when I used to go away against West Ham, you get the feeling and you understand the culture and the football clubs. But how does it feel that to go from Ipswich, and I know it's not you yet, but to go from Ipswich to Saudi Arabia?
Well, I don't think Fabio even predicted this. Like, he's a confident guy and he's smooth talking and everything, but no one predicted this. And it's well deserved. He deserves to be there. He deserves to be top of the bill like he is. And he's going to put on another heavyweight spectacular. Like what they did in March, both men should keep their heads held high because it was one of the best heavyweight performances I've seen in a long time. So for Fabio to be able to recreate it is amazing. No, you're all good.
And you talk about that there, and you talk about heavyweight performances, which we'll get onto in a minute. But you were there last March, and it was unfortunate. It was a war. It was a classic and one to be remembered for the ages. Like I said, by the time, so I was up here in the arena, I was like, I'm going to go down here just to get a little clip. And I thought, surely, and respectfully, I love Fraser Clark, love Fabio Wardley. I just thought we all knew who had won on the night, regardless of 2 points and everything. By the time I got down, I'm like, surely this is fabulous. And I think many people left the arena knowing the scorecard, but no one expected a draw. What do you reckon he does in the next outing to, even if it does go via decision, do you see a decision or a stoppage? And what do you see that he does to get his hand raised on the night and be the winner? Because both hands were raised, but to have that W.
I think the thing with Fab, which is quite apparent, like, he's hungry for it. He's had to work for where he is today. He's always the underdog. Even when he's winning, there's the white collar things always brought up or the lack of experience. But he just went 12 rounds of absolute war. And he's going to do it again. Like this, I see a stoppage. Might be a later stoppage, but he's hungry for it. Fraser's gonna hit him, and Fraser's just got to know what's going to hit him back. Like I think this is going to be a new and improved hard hitting, smooth talking Fabio Wardley, and his hand will be raised in Saudi.
And I can't wait for the press conference. And I want to ask you there, does the weather, obviously, you fought at York Hall in the heat, but does the weather and the time zone impact the performance or no?
I'm assuming so. I'm sure there's got to be a factor in that, but I think Fab's got his head screwed on and his mindset's winning. So I don't think anything's going to get in the way of that.
And obviously, we'll get you on one of these shows one day. But did you manage to watch the Wembley card last weekend? And what a heavyweight main event!
Yeah, it was a cracking card with the attendance is crazy. I think Daniel Dubois, underdog again. Like no one really expected him to do what he did, and I think that is heavy. That's boxing through and through. You can have all the success in the past, but on the night it means nothing. And Daniel done exactly what he should have done. He waited for AJ to throw that uppercut and he caught him with that nice right. And it was game over. It was a lovely, lovely punch. And unfortunately, that is boxing. But both men, again, should be proud of what they've achieved.
And then, did you watch any of the undercard or no?
Yeah, I watched the Kelly fight. That was Josh Kelly, yeah. It was close. I didn't know which way it was going to go, but again, great fight. And for his opponent to take it on, was it 6 days notice?
Yeah, even less possibly.
Yeah, that's boxing though. You've got to be ready. You've got to be ready to take these opportunities, and you can't let anything go by because you're not ready. So it was, to me, like, doesn't matter on the result with that fight. It was going to be a hell of a fight because both men wanted it.
And you kind of answered one of my questions there, but say, for example, and touch wood, it doesn't go off, but say if Raven and Sky was to fall off, and obviously maybe it's a little bit too soon, but we'll get you there. How much does that show that to always be ready in camp and to take those big opportunities? Because Ishmael Davis posted on his Instagram, he took a risk at greatness and he went for it. And you either sit back and then you always think, what if? Or you take it and, like AJ said, you roll the dice. Could that be you one day? Obviously, October 12th, I doubt, because you're fighting the week after. But if there was a female world title fight or a big fight or like a big name fight, would you what? Sorry, does it show not only the preparation to be prepared in camp, but also to show that the importance of being ready?
You should be ready. Like, we're professional athletes. We need to be professional, especially in the female game where the opportunities, they're either there or they're not. You can't say no. There's just not many of us to choose from. So if I was ever given an opportunity like that, I'd take it with the support of my team, would go for it, and I'd give it everything I had. Like, I don't want to sit down in 10, 15 years and think, what if I had gone for that, you know? Just I'm here to take risks. And sometimes, like, look at Dubois. He took a risk and he won. Sometimes the underdog does come up big.
And I've got to talk about you now. So going back onto this fight, I've seen Elite sparring. I don't have one of her shirts, but she's fighting this Friday. Tycee Gallagher defending her British and Commonwealth. And then also Lily, one of the best girls in the game, including yourself. Talk about that elite level sparring and some of the best girls in Britain, if not the world.
Yeah, like, I've sparred both girls now. Had the pleasure of sparring Tycee last week. She's a lovely girl. Her and her team were accommodating, and it was just great 8 rounds. Like, nice, fast-paced rounds. Same with Lily. I think the last time we sparred was just before her last outing. 10 solid rounds. Like, the respect is there, but we all know what it takes to make it, and we're willing to go to those places. So I've nothing but love for all the girls I meet in boxing and the opportunities that it gives me. But I'm here to take over. Like, we're not in it to make friends. As much as I respect all the girls that get into the ring, someday our paths might cross. I don't know. So I'm here to make a statement and make a legacy. But making friends is also a bonus. Like, but I'm here for a job, and I'm professional, and I'll stick at that.
I love that. And it's obviously friends beforehand, business in the rings, and you can be friends after, but also it shows
Exactly.
Tycee's super bantam, Lily's super feather, your feather. So anyone could move up, anyone could move down. And just talk about that because you mentioned Fabio, and there's so many other boxers, but to hear white collar, and we hear the stigma, and I don't want to keep going on it, but how much does it show that Lily as well? I believe only 5 amateur fights in her white collar background to not only have her professional debut on top tier, but then to go on the zone. And she looks like she's been fighting for years. She looks unreal in the ring.
Yeah, like, me and Lily have a lot of similarities with the weight loss, the white collar, the very limited amateur background, but we're both hungry for it. I think respect is where respect's due, you know, like, she's worked hard to get to where she is. Like, she's a talented girl through and through, but the graft has been done. You don't get anywhere on talent. And I think that's why me and her get on so well. We respect each other's journey and will continue to, whether that be if we do meet in the ring, if I go up, she comes down. I don't know what the plan is. I'm not calling anyone out or anything, but we've had some competitive bouts of sparring. Like, we're here to help each other and to lean on each other and grow as athletes and boxers. So I wish her nothing but the best. Like, she is smashing it at the moment. She's got a great team around her. She's got a good head on her shoulders, and she's going to take over. She will get to where she needs to be, and I'm going to support her 100%.
I love that. And by the way, because I've got one of her shirts, not only do I need one of yours, but when can I get a hoodie? Because it's getting cold here in the UK.
Yeah. I'll sort you one out. We're getting some homecoming ones for Ipswich, and I'll sort you one out. Don't worry.
Love that. And 2 weeks before you fight, it would have been more ideal, and it would have been so meant to be, although it already is meant to be, that West Ham play Ipswich 2 weeks before. That would have been perfect if it aligned on a date. But talk about that there. Have you watched Ipswich this year in the Premier League, and what have you thought of them?
I'm not a massive football fan. I will always back the boys in blue because you got to, and that's your town, you know. Um, but I think I watched the Liverpool one, the first one of the Prem, so I just thought it's in Portman Road. I would have loved to have gone, but watched it at home, and I thought the boys done well. It's a big step up, and what they're doing is incredible, and what they're doing for the town is just incredible. So they just got to keep doing what they're doing, and you just never know.
And going back onto your card, obviously it's a stat card. You got PA Gordon on there. You have Mike Webber Kane and so many others. Do you know if your main event on the night or?
I believe Muffin is Gordon's. I think he's defending. I'm not 100% sure. I don't really know what's going on. My head's been on my game plan, and I don't care if I start the show, end the show. Like, I'm putting on a show. So put wherever you want, and it's going to be the best fight on the card.
And do you know your opponent for the next bout?
Yeah, I'm fighting Amy Gatorx.
Oh,
Who
Amy,
recently
I've seen her on a few top tier shows. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe she fought Louise Orton on one of the top tier shows. Obviously, recently just lost to Stevie Levy by a stoppage. So we'll see what happens on the night. I'm not going to say anything or what I've been working on, but it's going to be a fight.
And I like that. You like Fabio and you like so many others, but you are your own person and you're humble and you're fighting in the ring with your fists and you don't do your fighting with talk outside of it. Although everyone knows in this sport, you need to publicize yourself and people need, but it's not the way to go about it. And it's how to remain professional and to inspire others. So you talk about that there. Is this, again, I'm getting emotional as well, but would you say this is the biggest night of your life so far, boxing wise? So obviously, life, you have so many other things going on, but in boxing, would this be number one bucket list, topped off? Because it would have been a dream to sell out your hometown.
Oh, 100%. But for me, this is the beginning. This is the first list. Then I'm going on to the next thing and I'm going to accomplish that. And then I'm going to have a new goal and I'm going to accomplish that. So the horizons are just, it's crazy. And to think 3 years ago, I had my first bout at Trinity Park, and to come back a professional within 3 years and achieve what I've achieved, like, no one can take that away from me. But this is only the start. Like, I've done this in 3 years. Where am I going to be in the next three? So that for now, this will be the biggest fight I've had. But in terms of just fighting in front of my people, it's exactly where I belong.
And how does it feel? Because Sonny Hardy said it's great having your core, but to go to the Indigo, something different for the fans. And also, this is more local for your supporters because they don't have to pay for accommodation for those who might have to pay for a hotel overnight, those that have to pay train tickets, travel, car, petrol, and tickets themselves. It's like you're just paying your 50 to 100 quid, and you can walk 10 minutes down the road. So, yeah.
It's incredible that anyone would spend their hard-earned money on me. Like, the belief they have in me is crazy, and I appreciate anyone and everyone who's bought a ticket, bought a t-shirt, supported me from day one. You know, like, I don't even want to think how much people have spent, but to be able to give back a little bit and be like, look, I'm just down the road this time, and it's not just me; it's 5 or 6 other local talents that once you get there, when the doors open, you're not leaving until the doors close because you do not want to miss a fight.
This is a definition of a homecoming because it's like when the UFC goes to Ireland or MMA or like any Bellator event that goes to Ireland or to a city which is built off of fight fans, but also it shows that city. And then when you do it once, like Dana White does it, you want to come back, again. And hopefully next time when we come back there, you'll have it for a title. But for the fans that don't know, UK fans and worldwide fans, talk about the Ipswich fans and talk about why you're different.
It's just the support we have, like, even like with the football, like, look at Fabio, like, the town gets behind their own, and that's apparent for all of us that have come through Ipswich. Like, every person who has bought a ticket from me or any of the other boxers there will be cheering everyone on because we support our own. And it's just going to be a crazy experience that I'm jealous of the people that get to sit and watch it all. I don't want to be at the back warming up. I want to sit down and watch all the rest of the fights.
Maybe then that's more ideal, to get out first and then enjoy the rest of the night. But also, is there any female fighters that support Norwich?
We've got Ronnie Dean on the card, who's from Norwich. So I don't know if she supports Norwich. I'm not 100% sure, but there are some Norwich people like Mikey. I believe he's based in Norwich now. So there'll be Ipswich, Norwich, bit of Essex. There's a mixture of all of us, and I'm sure we'll have to keep our differences aside at the door.
That's what I love that boxing does, and it's different to football where you're separated, where it brings everyone. And I say it, the power of sports, not only football but any sport in the world, especially boxing, to bring, like you said, one of Johnny Clark's shows or any other show in the world, especially TM1 Force, you can, and it's co-promoted by Nielsen, to bring people from up north, down south, Essex, all around the country, and all in one arena for one night. It's really and truly special. And so, before I let you go, because I love talking and I don't want to run out of questions, but we'll save it for once you win. Do you feel any nerves in this one or not?
Not really, because this is what we do, you know. I'm sure close to the time I'll get a bit nervous, which is, I think everyone does. And I think if you don't admit that, you're just fooling yourself. But it's one of those things that this is what I've worked towards. I wanted the step up in opponent. I wanted the step up. Like, I want to put on a show. And I think this is really going to help get my name out there a bit more because of the crowd I'm pulling in. Like, people will remember this fight and it will be the start of something for me.
And we see your posters, we see how you're branding it. You've got a website now as well, selling your, what's it called again? Because I literally saw it last night. What's
Oh, the numpties.
Yeah, I love that
and
word.
stuff,
My
yeah.
geography teacher used to call me a numpty back in year 7, and that word has just stuck with me. And I was like, so what does numpty mean? And he said, okay, Google it. I was like, no, what you to tell me? And then he was like, you're a numpty. And I was like, we just use that. So he was from Wolverhampton, so obviously he loved it.
Yeah.
So then talk about that there. How many tickets do you expect to sell? And not only tickets, but fan merch.
I've lost count, if I'm honest. I've given the responsibility to my manager because I need to focus on training, you know. Like, the outpour has been absolutely amazing, and I thank everyone who's coming out to support me. But for me to make their money worthwhile, I need to keep training. I need to keep my head in the game and keep it down. But I know I've had a few messages saying that we've got the homecoming t-shirts, all of this, and it's going to be one of those nights where it's going to be a pinch me moment, 100%.
And before I let you go, have you watched Amy Greatrex, or do you not focus on your opponents?
I've seen, like, I'd be lying if I said I hadn't seen a bit. Like, I watched the Orton fight with her anyway, so this was before I even knew she was my opponent. But it's not my job to study; it's my job to do. So I'm gonna let my team focus on that. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing and just keep doing what I'm told to do.
And I love asking this question. Is it going to be a stoppage victory? Is it going to be a decision? Or is it going to be by any means necessary having your hands raised on the night?
Regardless, my hand's going to be up that night. I'll be 3-0. That's absolutely fine. I've got a few tricks up my sleeves that I'm not. We're putting on a performance. We've got a game plan that I'm going to stick to, and what happens happens. But my hand will be raised come 19th.
And will this be your last outing of the year?
Hopefully not. I would like a December outing, you know. Like, I feel like 3 in a year is great, but I wanted 4 or 5, you know. I want to stay active. I want my name out there. I want other promoters to see what I'm doing and just really build and expand on the Eilish Tierney brand.
And going back in January, and of course you can recap when we finish the year, or you've had 1 full year as a pro. But from that reel I took, and from being, again, the only female in the room, but how did it feel just being little quiet Eilish? But then when you spoke, you're not little quiet Eilish. You said you want to be different. You don't want to be Katie Taylor. You want to be better than Katie Taylor, and you want to be selling out arenas. How much does it show from that January doing that press conference to your debut, to your May outing, to now, and God willing 4-0 before the end of the year? How much does that show? And you spoke it into existence.
Yeah, like, I'm a big believer of saying is doing, you know. So if you put it out there, it's going to happen. And sitting next to some of those talented boxers on my first press conference, that's when I knew it's exactly where I was supposed to be. And that was just the start for me, you know. Like, I'm going to keep moving up, and the opponent's going to get better, the fights are going to get better, and I'm just going to keep progressing. But I could never predict what this journey's been on and what boxing's given me from January. But I'm excited to see where I am in January and reflect on that, and reflect as a whole year as becoming a professional boxer.
And some of the lads have gone on to Wasserman, GBM, fought on DAZN, fought on big arenas such as the Indigo. And this is, I wouldn't say the first step up, but this is a first of many, because your call is iconic in itself. before I let you go, is it going to be? I was going to say, gonna say Eilish Tierney. Is it going to be Billie Eilish? You can see me in a crown, the walkout.
Always, that doesn't change. I'm a very I like to keep things going to be shorts are going to be nice and fresh and purple. The music's going to be the same, but you're just going to see a different Eilish on the night, and it's more aggressive, more like I'm just going to box and just do what I'm good at.
Final message to your supporters, not only your Ipswich faithful, not only your London, your Essex, but everyone that sports in the UK and worldwide, and everyone that messages on Instagram, and everyone that's purchased a ticket, spends their hard-earned cash, takes days off of work, spends time to message you and supports you, and can't wait to see the homecoming.
Yeah, I just want to thank each and every one of these people that have reached out and is coming home all right. Just everyone who supports me and has supported me. And I just want to say a massive happy birthday to my mum as well, which is her birthday tomorrow. She's given me everything and continues to. She's will forever be my biggest fan, and I'll always wear the purple for that. But she'll be there front and center come October. You'll hear her. But with everyone else that's going to be there, it's just going to feel right, and it's exactly where I'm supposed to be.
I love that. And England didn't bring it home in the summer, but we're bringing you home to Ipswich. And happy birthday to your mum for tomorrow. And hopefully the Hammers can do it against Liverpool tonight.
Oh yeah, that's what she's looking forward to. She's a massive Hammers fan, so she'll be watching.
Love that. Ladies and gentlemen, Eilish Tierney, thank you so much. We'll see you on October the 19th.
No, thank you.